Well, look who came up here in the loft to sit with me. He doesn't usually come all the way up the steps, but he was lonely. Hey, buddy. So, so he came up. Hi. All right. Let's do this video thing, okay? Good afternoon. Welcome back to Learning Alaska. My name is Judy. Cindy is traveling this week, so I'm on my own. I have to hold the fort down all by myself. So I've been thinking about what I wanted to do for a video this week. And I think I just want to talk about the realities of living here. It's been 3 months, almost 3 months, minus a few days. And some of the reality has set in. And I know you all think that the reality is going to set in once the snow starts flying, and that's true. That's very true. But the reality so far, and I don't ever want anyone to think that our life is perfect here and we live in the woods and it's beautiful and it's magical and it's perfect. It isn't. We have a lot of concerns and hurdles and struggles that we've had so far. For example, we experienced our first earthquake, or I did. Cindy was in the basement doing something, and in the basement of all places during an earthquake. But I was sitting in the living room and I heard the dishes start rattling on the shelves. And I thought, is that refrigerator doing something? What's wrong with that refrigerator? Why is it making so much noise? And then all of a sudden, I was sitting in a rocking chair downstairs, and it's not a rocking chair, it's a swivel glider. We're not calling it a rocking chair because that means we're old. But anyway, the chair starts going, woo. I went, hey, hey, hey. I started yelling, hey. I was like, and Cindy's like, what's going on? What's going on? I said, we're having an earthquake. And it turns out it was like 5.5 or something. So they call that a shaker here. They just go on about their business. But for me, I haven't experienced anything like that. So my first thought was, how long is this going to last? Do I need to go outside? Do I need to get under a table? What do I need to do? You know, it was just like all this stuff was going through my head because you never know. It may be a few seconds. It may not. So I want to tear down the postcard myth of living here. It is beautiful, and I do love it. And the cabin's beautiful. They did such a good job on it. The landscapes are beautiful, and it's a dream come true. This is my dream, my big dream. Cindy's too, but I kind of started it all. So I just want to make it clear, I am not complaining. I am not, other than about the mosquitoes, I'm not complaining about any of it. I love it. But I don't want you to think that everything's just, oh, it's so perfect. It's so nice. And, it is, but it has its moments. I always said that I wanted to keep it real on our YouTube channel, that I want to be authentic and show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't always show you the ugly. And so we can at least talk about the ugly, right? So let's talk about the vulnerability of living here. Being vulnerable. Every time you open the door to go outside, especially early in the morning or late at night, to let the dogs out or to do something, you got to do a moose check. You got to check to see if there's something in the yard. Now, I don't worry too much about bears in this area. They don't see very many in this area, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist. you know, they have been in this area, and they're certainly able to be in this area. So we always check that. We always check for moose. We check for stray dogs. We check for people, whatever, whenever we go out the door. Whenever we take a walk or go on a hike or go someplace that's out in the wilderness, we have to take bear spray. We have to take mosquito spray. We got to douse down in mosquito spray, but that's annoying, but that's not life-threatening. So bear spray will protect us, hopefully, if we ever encounter a bear and have to use it. A moose, I don't know that it will work on a moose. Nothing really works on a moose, but on people and on dogs. So, it's something. And I don't really care to talk about what firearms we carry and when we carry. That I just kind of keep to myself, but we do have them. We'll just say that. The bugs, let's talk about the bugs here in Alaska. So, if you know me, and I'm looking at my laptop, sorry. If you know me, you know that I don't like flying things. The mosquitoes are annoying, but when I lived in Ohio, I couldn't stand the stink bugs up there. They drove me absolutely crazy. And here, they don't have stink bugs, but they have some monsters. They're like this big. I don't even know what they are. Some kind of a wasp. They fly around here. And I kid you not, every time I go out on the deck, one flies at me, flies by me, and I'm like, nope, I'm in. And then there's those other black things that are some creature from the bowels of hell. I don't know what they are either, but they're big. So, um, yeah, I'm scared of big flying insects. Only certain ones. It makes no sense whatsoever. I'm not afraid of bees. I'm not afraid of moths. I'm not afraid of dragonflies. I'm not afraid. I don't like certain things and things that I know that can bite me and sting me, as these can and will. And they don't know how to fly very well, so they fly very erratically. And maybe that's it. I can't stand like erratic flying insects. So there's that. Another thing is the anxiety. I don't like the word anxiety. The anxiousness that maybe we feel when people drive down the road. And there's a reason for that. It's very private back here, and we live in a cul-de-sac, and there really isn't anyone. No one needs to drive down our road to get to anything. So a lot of people come down here on ATVs and just turn around and just go their own way, and that's fine. A couple guys did that today, and then right after that, I noticed that there was a truck sitting out there, and it ended up being UPS, and all was good. But I didn't know why he was out there, and it made me nervous. And being here by myself, I don't want to have an altercation. So I just walked out there, and I just went around the corner, and I'm like, "Oh, are you looking to deliver something here?" And he wasn't sure he was at the right address, but all was well. But when a truck comes and sits back there, that bothers me. I mean, it's a public road. There's nothing we can do about that, but it's just we just question, right? We just watch and we're very careful. The isolation back here is good, but it's we're quite a ways from help if we need help. Like we just realized this week with the dogs. Cindy had to take Raisin to the vet. I had to take Jet to the emergency vet. I thought he had something wrong, a urinary tract infection or crystals in his urine or something that could have been an emergency. It ended up he's fine. They ran tests on him. I don't know what was going on with him, but he couldn't urinate, and he's okay now. Some questionable things came back with his kidneys, so I'm going to start him on a kidney support diet. And Shelties and a lot of times dogs are known for kidney failure, and I think sometimes I blame the food industry, the pet food industry, medications. Jet hasn't been on a lot of medications his life because he has seizures, so he can't be. But anyway, long story short, it's an hour to take him to the vet. He gets sick in the car, so I have to medicate him. He got sick anyway, but then it's an hour back, and it's very stressful for him because he gets car sick. So that's really hard, and it's stressful for me. I had to stop, clean out his crate, clean him up, get him back in the crate. It was just a mess. But anyway, it's not just run him to the vet if something's wrong. It's an all-day thing. And it was an emergency urgent care vet, so I had to sit there for 2 hours before anybody even saw us. So same thing with Raisin. Cindy had to take her all the way to Wasilla because it was not an emergency, but that was it's Wasilla's like I guess it's about an hour away too. Anything we want to do, go to the grocery store, go to the dentist, go to the doctor, it's like we have to go to Wasilla. So, and I know we chose to live out here, and I love living out here, but that's just the reality of where we live and some of the things that we've encountered. The other thing is the lack of community, I think, has been difficult on both of us. We were very involved in our churches, had friends, had family. Here we don't have any of that. So we're just starting to make friends here in the area. We have a new couple that just purchased the land next to us. They're going to be coming out here camping, super nice people. And we've met some friends. They've been wonderful to us. And our closest neighbor is wonderful to us. And we've connected with a church now. So community is important, not just for support and watching out for one another, but community is important just for fun and fellowship and engaging with other people. We love to have game nights and stuff like that. We've got a ton of games here. So hope to, have some people over and some laughs and have fun, especially in the wintertime. Right now, everyone's too busy getting ready for winter. That's the focus of everybody here right now. Fishing and getting ready for winter. So winter prep, that's a big deal. So there's also the concern about getting stranded. If something happens in the car, we can't get back to the dogs to take care of the dogs. So a lot of times we do things separately. Like Cindy went on her fishing trip and I didn't go because I stayed home with the dogs. I'm taking a little trip here in the next few weeks and she's going to stay home and take care of the dogs. And so it's kind of weird. We have to take separate vacations, but I enjoy solo travel. I don't know that Cindy enjoys it as much as I do. I've done a lot of trips by myself and I look at it as kind of a little retreat time. Not that I don't enjoy traveling with someone because I do, but it's kind of fun for me to go by myself too. It gets a little lonely after the first couple of days though. So right now we are working on an emergency kit for our cars and all the things that we realize we don't have for an emergency. In Ohio, you just call AAA. You just call a friend. You just walk to a gas station, whatever. Though we were in the country, so we probably didn't do a lot of that, but we weren't so isolated that it was a long walk. To walk to a gas station here, okay, I let my car go down to empty yesterday, and I will never do that again. Cindy had an extra tank of gas here, so we put that in the car to get me enough gas to go to the gas station. So I can't do that. I just can't do that. So we're making these car kits with all of the, with blankets and extra. There's a list about this long, and we're going to put it in a tote and we're going to put it in the car. Of course, those things that have batteries, we're going to have, we call it our bug out bag, but really it's a car emergency bag that's going to be in a backpack. And we just pick that up when we go somewhere and we take it with us. So it's going to have all the emergency things in it in case something happens and we get stranded in the wintertime if the car breaks down. So things we did not have to worry about in Ohio. The other thing that has been an emotional issue for me is the whole getting older aspect of just my life and retirement in general, but especially up here. Because in the back of my mind all the time, I think about, am I going to be strong enough to do this? There are things out here that I'm not able to do and I'm not strong enough to do. Cindy's a lot stronger than I am, but she says I'm stronger, but I don't think so. For example, getting up on a ladder, I have a fear of that. I'll go a few steps up on a ladder, but to go up high on a ladder, she does that. Like to clean out the chimney or to, get up on the side of the house or something like that. I'll be the spotter, but I'm not going to climb up there. If I had to, if it was a life or death situation, yeah, I would do it. But, it freaks me out. Things like just stability, mobility, strength. I have to make sure that I keep up on that. I am 10 years older than Cindy is, and I have to work a little harder to make sure that I keep all that strong, that I keep my mind strong. Someone suggested that you read a book upside down because that challenges your brain. And I tried it. And I used to read upside down all the time when I was in the title business and I did closings because I would push the documents across the table. Of course, I knew the documents by heart for the most part, but if I had to read, I could read upside down very easily talking to people doing the transactions. But now it's a little bit harder, so I have to practice that. But also, like things like crossword puzzles, things that keep your brain active, they said it can cut the risk of Alzheimer's in half if you now that does not run in my family, but if you keep your brain learning and active all the time. Takes me back to my 5 pillars, right? Of body, mind, spirit, home, and heart. I have to stay focused on those. The other thing, and this has been difficult for both of us, is establishing a routine. We still haven't really found a routine. Being retired, I can kind of just get up when I want to, and I still get up pretty early, but I can make my bed when I want to. I can have breakfast when I want to. We usually have breakfast at the same time because that's when Cindy has her break. It's technically her lunch break. She starts at 4 a.m. Alaska time, which is 8 a.m. East Coast time, and I don't get up till like 6:30, something like that. So then she and I have breakfast together in the morning about 8 o'clock Alaska time, which is kind of her lunchtime. And then she's finished working at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we can have the rest of the day to go do whatever, do chores or whatever we need to do around here. But for having like an exercise schedule, and I have my quiet time with the Lord every morning. I still do that. But like a reading schedule, I feel like I need structure. And I think she does too, because she keeps saying she feels like her routine is off. Her whole like work schedule, everything is just upside down. And now she's traveling to the East Coast. So when she comes back, she's going to be all messed up. To bring it all back to the center here, it's hard, it's stressful, sometimes it's scary. But yes, the beauty and the dream. I'm sitting here looking out at a gorgeous forest with the golden light just shining through the leaves. And it's worth it. We drive down the road and we see so much beauty all around us that's just overwhelming. The other day, and I know I talk about Denali all the time, and you guys probably get sick of it. Well, I know one person gets sick of it because they mentioned it in the comments. But you come around this curve, and there's this mountain that's different every time you see it, and it's so big and so majestic, it just takes your breath away. And then you turn around and look the other direction, and there's another mountain range over here. And then behind you in the rearview mirror, there's just gorgeous. It's just beautiful. And we don't even live in the mountains. I mean, we live in a huge valley that we can see the mountains once we get out of the woods. We really can't see a sunset or a sunrise here either. So we have to drive to go see that because we're in the woods. But I miss that. I used to love seeing the sunrise and the sunset almost every day in Ohio. So it is totally worth it, and we totally love it. But don't think that there aren't struggles here. Don't think that we have this little perfect life. And I am never going to pretend to have a perfect life because I don't. And I get scared and I get nervous and I get stressed out. And Cindy and I have tense moments with each other, even though we're the best of friends. We still get mad at each other. We still have we're roommates. So we have issues just like anyone else does with, some of our little idiosyncrasies. But what's important to me on this channel is to be real, to be authentic. I don't want to pretend like I have a perfect life. I don't want anybody to think, oh, you have all this, you have all that, you have a brand new home, a brand new cabin. Yes, we're blessed. It's beautiful. I love it. But it doesn't come without struggles. There are still struggles here. So you don't see a lot of that on camera. And I'll tell you, it's not because we want to hide it. It's because when we're in the tension of the moment, I'm not going to pick up a camera and go, oh, I got to get this on video. So that's why you don't see the difficult moments that we have. It's not because we're hiding them. It's because, can you imagine being in an argument with somebody, like let's say your spouse or your friend, or, oh, wait, let me document this for YouTube. That just doesn't happen. So I also want to say, and I say this all the time, thank you. Thank you for being part of this community, and we consider you to be our YouTube family. I don't know the majority of you, but I do know that you're interested in being helpful and giving feedback and suggestions and even criticism. I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with it. Just be polite, don't cuss me out or anything like that. But I welcome your feedback and your suggestions. And if you see us doing something really stupid, you're welcome to say so. So, with that, I will just say, if you have watched this all the way to the end, thank you so much. If you guys would be so kind to comment, to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when our videos come out. A lot of you have said that, you really enjoy our channel and our antics, and thank you so much for that. And I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I look forward to many, many years of learning Alaska. See you on the next one.